Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Maryland Apex Accelerator webinar. Glad you could join us today. I'm your host, Yasmin Razak. I'm the Marketing and Training Coordinator here, and very excited to bring this topic to you today. We've never done this before, crafting a winning elevator pitch for industry events and matchmaking. And it is led by Keisha Foster, who is the founder of Key to Life Professional Services, LLC. As always, we're going to get started very shortly, and you can ask Akeisha your questions by typing them in the chat box on your screen. We will pause for Q&A throughout the next 2 hours. And we always take a 5-minute break at the top of the hour, so I'll let you know when that's happening. And as always, a copy of the slides and the recording will be sent to you after the presentation. Obviously, I forgot to mention this is being recorded. For those of you not familiar with the Maryland Apex Accelerator, we are here to help Maryland businesses to compete in federal, state, and local government procurement processes. Our services are no cost to you. If you're not from Maryland, just Google Apex Accelerator in your state and you can receive the same help from them. Okay, enough from me. Over to you, Keisha.
Thank you, Yasmin. Welcome everyone today to the training. I'm very excited because we have been, looking at the surveys that you've all been sending, looking at everything, putting together content that's going to really help small businesses to elevate themselves into government contracting, getting that training that you need while you're still waiting for your procurement counselor to get to you. And while you have these trainings, implement what we're teaching in these trainings so that way you can be that more successful in your business. So today we're diving into a powerful tool in your GovCon toolkit. You'll hear me say that often, your GovCon toolkit, because just like in anything, you have to have a toolkit. In your carpentry, you got a toolkit. In your office, you got your business toolkit. You're building your toolkit to be successful in this space. Okay. Let me go to the next slide. Let me get over here to the Hold on, I'm gonna get this slide going. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm your instructor, Akeisha Foster, President and CEO. So now I've have 22 plus years in government contracting sector. So I know what it is, some of those challenges that you're facing, some of those things. I'm a GovCon coach for some federal. I learned how to be a strategic partner, getting those strategic partners, being a former contracting officer specialist, and then a former Apex Accelerator counselor. So I know what you're going through. I know the challenges that you're facing. That's why we're customizing this training for you. We've helped our clients win over when I was there 8 million. So now it's more. And then I recently retired as a sergeant major in the Army. So now y'all get my full attention and get all of this training that we have for you. And then if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm a little busy because a lot of people are connecting with me, but I will get to it when I can. So just send me that LinkedIn request and then I'll be ready for you. Okay, so now let's go over our agenda. Okay. Now, because we want to make sure we have our GovCon toolkit ready, I've put together the agenda to focus on, like, what is an elevator pitch? Many people ask, we should know, but just in case you don't. And then why the elevator pitch matters. The 5-step elevator pitch framework, it could be 4 steps, 5, 3, 2, 7, whatever makes you customize it for you. But I'm just here to give you a guide, an overview, how to get started, right? Customize the elevator pitch for each. So if you're doing your teaming, you're going to have an elevator pitch for your subcontracting. If you're talking to decision makers, if you're doing whatever, I believe in customization. One size does not fit all. Just like all people are different size, one size does not fit all. Okay. And then we're going to talk about things to avoid in your elevator pitch. And then My goal is to have a live workshop, crafting your elevator pitch. I'm going to start it off. So I believe in practicing what I preach. I'm going to start off with my elevator pitch. I'm going to put it out there. And for those who want to, you put it out there too. You can get on and let me hear your elevator pitch. If you want a little critique or anything like that, then we're here to support you. Constructive criticism, criticism, because I don't believe in that tearing people down or anything of that nature. We always, whatever we do it to build people up. Okay. And then we're going to have the Q&A. As always, if you have questions, put them in the chat. And we're going to get to them every time I take a quick break so that I don't lose the train of thought and keep the training moving ahead, because we have limited time. And because we have limited time, I always try to stay structured and just keep it real focused, so that way you can get the content, and then you can always go back and review the videos, and then you'll already have the handout. And then you'll also have the slides and the recording. Okay, so now let's get to our poll so I can see who's in our audience. Okay, so how confident are you in delivering your elevator pitch to government contracting events? Okay, very confident. I have a solid pitch and use it regularly. Somewhat confident. I have a pitch but need to refine it. Not confident. I'm struggling. I will struggle with keeping it clear and concise, or I don't have one yet and I need to build one from scratch. So, okay, so we have 58% of us saying that I'm somewhat confident, not confident, about 33% of us, and then 8% I don't have one yet. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. We're here to make sure that you are confident when you leave this training session. And I thank you for joining us today. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so now the objective of this training. Now, we're going to talk about what it is, but what the objective is. This training will help new small businesses to craft a compelling and concise elevator pitch that is effectively communicates your unique value proposition during industry events, networking events, government matchmaking sessions. When you introduce yourself in your online training, I use my elevator pitch everywhere, because you never know who's in the audience. You never know who's there. So like when I was in the university going to school, for my master's, they always make you do an introduction. So that's when I always gave my elevator pitch, because you're practicing it. And you're always looking for opportunities to practice your elevator pitch. So when you go to your meetups and different things, that's when you practice your elevator pitch, and then you'll keep refining it. And you'll have a different elevator pitch for each. Okay. So now, what is an elevator pitch? A short, compelling introduction that you can use to introduce yourself, your product or service, or your company. All right. Now we're focusing on who you are and what you do. Okay. And then the elevator pitch should be, should last. Wait a minute. I put should be at least 30 seconds. That was a little spelling error. Never mind. But it's 30 to 60 seconds. Okay. So what you beating, so you know where it came from, when you was going up and down the elevators. Yes, we don't have it, but that's where it originated from, when they were going up and down in the elevators. But we want to make sure you understand that. So now by the end of this, so what we're doing is during these industry events, the opportunity sessions, by the end of this session, I hope that each of you will understand the key components of a successful elevator pitch. Develop a clear and concise pitch tailored to government agencies, to your primes, to your subs, to your teaming partners, and then learn these techniques to engage and capture the attention of the decision makers, right? And then practice and refine, practice and refine, practice and refine. That is important. You have to keep practicing, just like anything. When we're in the military, when I was in the military, I had to rehearse. Everything was rehearsal. You didn't just go out there and do it, because you go out there and do it the first time, and it's not so pretty. Then you go out there and do it again the second time, looks a little bit better. And then so forth and so on. So I believe in rehearsals. That's just how it is. Now, why an elevator pitch matters? It communicates who you are. It communicates what you do. and why you're the best choice. All right. Just like anything, the importance of first impressions. It's the first impression, right? Those first impressions is the lasting impression. Have you ever met somebody, you met them for the first time, you be like, Sometimes you're taken aback, or some other times you were like, oh, I really like that conversation. Or you can tell when you just met someone at the matchmaking events. When I was at the AA conference last year, I met so many people, and it was important. Let me go back because I want to stay on this first. It was important for me to make sure that I knew who I was talking to. So before I went to the event, right, I got the agenda. I looked at who was going to be there. I looked at the different stations and the different booths that I wanted to attend so I can meet those people in person, right? So I had already been practicing my pitch. I had already got all the information that I needed for the event that I was going to attend. Because remember, every elevator pitch will be customized for that event. And I knew I wanted to do the matchmaking sessions, and then I knew we also had a booth there. So I had to split my time out. So that's the importance of the first impressions, because I knew I was ready. So when I would meet those different people at that elevator, presenting my pitch, that I would feel a little bit confident because I kept practicing. And so the role of the elevator pitch in GovCon is important, because that's how people are assessing you, is by what you say. Basically, how can you tell them what you provide? What are you doing? What are the things that you can do? Because the government agencies receive hundreds of pitches from businesses. They receive hundreds. And your goal is to be clear, concise, and compelling, right? So in about 30, 60 seconds, you should be able to communicate that who you are, what you do, and why you're the best at it. And so that's why we felt like it was very critical that we implement this training in our training series, in our webinars, is because this one is one of the ones that we see a lot of small businesses struggling with. They don't really know how to break down or communicate what they do and how they do it. Okay. And then, or like I said, you've heard the ones say, well, I could do whatever you want. Okay. Well, if you was out there looking for a virtual assistant and they said something, I could do whatever you want, that wouldn't communicate clear value to you. You'd be like, okay, anybody could do whatever I want, but I want somebody specifically, their subject matter expertise. So remember, we're always looking for subject matter expertise. So if you do IT, then communicate IT. If you're doing software development, then communicate software development. And then you're going to have to speak in such a way, because remember, we're trying to get all that in 30 to 60 seconds. So it's important how you communicate that. So because you want to know, they're going to want to know why you're the best choice. All right. And the impact of a strong pitch and government contract is critical, right? The impact, because you can really resonate with somebody and they were like, okay, well, let's talk about this later. Send me an email. They're going to give you your business card. Or they were like, well, hey, we got these opportunities coming up. Schedule a capability briefing with me. So that can open up many doors, many doors. And then where you're going to do it, we talked about it. You're going to use every networking opportunity you can, industry days, matchmaking sessions, government events, anything that you can, even in those pre-bid conferences. You're going to a pre-bid conference, you're inside the pre-bid conference, and they ask you, if they ask anything for introductions or anything, because I was at one at Andrews Air Force Base, and they asked for everyone to stand up and introduce themselves. That was my opportunity to introduce my company. And I best believe I had my little pitch ready. So that's why I'm telling you, every time there's an opportunity to practice your elevator pitch, practice it, because you'll get used to it. It'll just start rolling off. And then add it onto your LinkedIn profile. Add it everywhere. Record yourself a YouTube video and post it on YouTube so they can see you. And then you can see how you look. You can go back and watch and be like, oh, I don't like that. Let me change it. Because when we record stuff and then we go back and look at it, we be like, oh, I didn't like that. Let me change it. Oh, why I say it like that? You know what I'm saying? So you can take your time and make it, personalize it, and then so it's just not robotic. You got used to saying it. And then that's one of the ways decision makers evaluate your capabilities. I evaluated so many small business capabilities from what they said and how they said it, and then their demeanor and different things of that nature, because you're looking at how the people present themselves, that you're the representation of your company. So that's how we're looking at it. And then, so now we're going to break down the elevator pitch. Okay. Now, I said the 5-step elevator pitch framework. Now, you could say 4. Some people say 4, some say 3, some say 7. It's whatever. It's whatever the meat of it is, you want to hook, you got to grab their attention, because people, nowadays, social media, it's easy for us to get off. We be everywhere. So you want to grab that attention, right? Once you grab that attention, then the problem statement, we got to identify the pain point, or, we don't even have to say pain point. What's the problem? What's the challenge? What's the issue? You can use whatever word you want. You're just trying to figure out what that agency need. Do they need staffing? Do they need IT? Do they need help desk? What do they need? And then how you value your value proposition, present your unique solution. Okay, what solution are you presenting? And not just say I'm presenting a solution, but you got to tell them exactly what we're going to give you: help desk support 24/7, or we're right up the street so we can get straight to you because we're in the local area. I mean, what is your value proposition? I mean, what is it? And then the proof, proof and differentiation. You got to highlight that experience and highlight your experience and credibility. Okay. And then the call to actions. Now, in our book, The Government Sales Manual by Joshua Frank, because I'm always recommending books, because sometimes, the slides and the training goes so fast, and you need to really, really go through the thing over and over again until you really understand it. And I believe in his book and in the other book, The Insider's Guide, had some very the elevator pitch examples in there. So if you want to get those books, definitely look at it. It's the Government Sales Manual by Joshua Frank, and then I believe it was the Insider's Guide by Joshua Frank, because I follow all his stuff. Him, Neil McDonald, Mike Lejeune, all of them, because they're industry experts in this field. And if you want to know how to do something, you have to learn from the industry experts in the field. So, but like I keep saying, practice, practice, practice. And then finally, the call to action. What's the next step? So the call to action, what's the next step? Are we trying to get them to schedule a meeting? Do we want to talk about a source of sought notice, or because we've seen it out there and we're trying to position forward? Are we talking about the procurement forecast? Because you know how I feel. I recommend you start with the procurement forecast so you can see what's out there while you still can talk to the contracting officers, the program, before it gets to the solicitation phase. The goal is to get this work before it gets to the solicitation phase. So that's why I always believe in tying everything together. You have to know how to tie it all together and where these different things come from. And that way you can be able to position yourself. Okay, now step 1, the hook. So my example was, okay, so I believe in hooking. So did you know that 90% of small business struggle to win government contracts due to lack of preparation? And then, where you got that from? Basically, where did I get this from? The SBA, or I got it from a magazine, or different things like that. So what your hook is, just in case you have to have your sources and stuff, you need to know where you get that information from. Okay, and why this works: the hook immediately grabs attention with a compelling statistics. I believe in statistics because we don't want people to just go by our opinion. We want them to know that we've done our research. We know, in fact, we looked up the agency, we've seen some of the challenges they were facing, and then here's our solution. We're proposing a solution and a common pain point that resonates with the audience. Because, everything we're doing is we're trying to resonate with our audience. It's just you learning how to build those relationships. And a strong hook needs to be engaging, relevant, and provoke curiosity. So, they want what we're trying to do is get them to ask more questions. Okay, so why would you say that? Or why do you think you differentiate? The statistics and all those things, it just helps them to picture it, if you will. So that's the goal of it. The goal is to make the listener want to keep hearing more. That is the goal. We're trying to get in all these different conversations so that way they will want to hear more. And you'll see all of that in the handout. One, when I go over that in our when I do the live action, the live, so that way if anyone wants to do their pitches, I wanted to show you a few examples of how I came up with that. But first, I wanted to explain how I came up to that. Okay, the next, the problem statement. Okay, many small business miss out federal contracts because they don't understand procurement process and how to position themselves competitively. And that is so true. And this is coming from experience as a former contracting officer and contracting specialist. These are some of the challenges, or their proposal responses were non-compliant, and I'm having to tell them, well, no, and then they didn't know the procurement process. They're still calling me on the solicitation. Well, we can't talk no more. Now it's a solicitation. The only way you can talk to me now is by sending me an email. And that's the reason why a lot of small businesses are struggling. So everything that I do is always for the customer. My customers are small businesses trying to get into the government contracting space, because I have to train you, teach you, give you advice on how to be productive, how to win these contracts. So I have to know everything and why you're not winning a contract. Look at your current state and then make a solution. So that's what you're doing as the IT specialist, as the software developer. If you're providing janitorial services, if you're doing healthcare, it all is the same. But what you having to do is put it in from your lens. I'm looking from my lens as a coach or consultant in acquisition. You're looking from your lens as a software developer. You're looking from your lens as a janitorial services, healthcare, all of the different things, the programs they have out there. And then also I went, because I wanted to give an example for companies, because I have a lot of small business that were coming in with the Apex Accelerator saying, hey, I'm new in business. I don't even know how to get started. I mean, what do I put? And then so I had to create an elevator pitch for companies without company experience, showing them, okay, you still can do it too. You just got to put it together a little different. You're just going to craft your pitch just a little bit different, and showing them how you taken your expertise from one thing to another. So the problem statement is, you've done your research, you know what it is. Like I said, many small business miss out on federal contracts because they don't understand the procurement process. I know what it was. It was the procurement process, and then how to position them competitively. So when you break it down as why this works, it clearly defines the challenge the target audience faces, and it makes it relatable. And most small business can relate because that's one of their challenges. So you need to go at it from an angle of what is that audience. So if it's a team and partner, all right, remember, you're putting what it is specifically. So like I said, if it's the team and partner, then you got to pitch to the team and partner, what's their challenge. If it's just to a decision maker, then you have to come from the decision maker. And if you're just going to a networking events, then it's basically going to be a general, just a general audience. You're just letting them know who you are. It's not going to be customized so much. So that's why you have to know who your target audience and what they're facing, so you can make it relatable. And because it's so much involved in this, I want to make sure I'm breaking it down so you understand. So I'm going step by step. So a problem statement should be specific and reflect an industry pain point. So looking up the industry pain points for small businesses. So that's why I looked up all the industry pain points for small businesses, and then I write a solution for each. And then you have to, once you've wrote your solution for each, then you have to go through, and then now I got to build a strategy. Now I got to build my approach to dealing with this situation. So that's why when you're talking from your lens, that's why we're going to do those examples, so you can see it from different perspectives. Okay. Having a strong elevator pitch is very important. Okay. And then in government contracting, a major barrier is understanding compliance. Many don't understand compliance. They don't understand how to do the proposal writing because of all that jargon and all of that contracting language they put in there. And then the networking, what it is to really network and understand that it's active listening too, because you can't just do all of the talking and no listening, because I've seen that too. I've seen they talk so much to the person who's exhausted because they didn't talk so much and you've learned nothing. They haven't learned nothing from the customer because they did all of the talking. So by addressing these pain points, the listener can immediately identify the problem. And then once you identify the problem, then you can start creating a solution. But until you have identified the problem, you can't create a solution. Now, example 3, the value proposition. So like for this one, I put at Key to Life Professional Services, we simplify government contracting by helping our business understand GovCon space, develop compliant proposals, build agency relationships, and position themselves to win contracts. So then yours would be whatever your agency is, your company, whatever. And then when we put it all together with our pitch, then we'll put it all together, but you're doing it step by step to make sure you're answering the step 1, the hook, step 2, and then step 3. So that's how we're putting together each part. So that way you don't miss it, because many times it's just like when you're doing your research paper, you create your outline and then you start and then you do your headings, your subheadings and so forth. But that's how we're going to do it with the elevator pitch. So you know exactly what you're putting in what, and that you've answered the mail to each. So step 1 has been answered. Step 2 has been answered. Step 3 has been answered, and so on. Now, why this works, it positions the speaker as a solution provider by clearly stating what we do and how I add value, right? So what do I do and how I added the value. And a strong value proposition needs to explain the what and the how concisely. Now, the focus should be on benefits rather than features. So how it's going to benefit you. And in government contracting, business struggled with compliance. They struggle with proposal development and they struggle with outreach because they don't know how to outreach to them because they think it's the same as commercial sector. Yes, same but different, right? Because you have to come to them, an agency, in a different way because they have everyone coming at them, from the private sector to their supervisors to it's a lot. So we have to be patient. We have to really think about how we plan on showing our value. So providing support in these areas is a clear value added. What we're trying to get to is the value added. How can we add value to this organization? What can we do to make it better? So because I don't want to just keep going, I always try to stop at the top of, now we done been in this training. Do we have any questions you asked me before I keep moving on to the next one?
Yes, we do have one,
Okay,
Keisha.
okay.
And I'd just like to welcome everybody who joined us since we started, and to let you know you can type out your questions in the chat box. This one is from Martin, and he says, we're attending a large conference as part of a booth. And I've been doing many conferences before, but only as an attendee. What can I do to get the most of this particular opportunity?
Oh, good. And see, you got a booth. So now you're going to be standing there. So that means people are going to be coming up to you, asking you about what you do, because you said booth at the event. So now the first thing is, who is attending the event? Is buyers attending the event, or is it just, to me, I call them spectators. They just here to look, see, hey, speak to everybody, and they're not going to purchase anything. So it depends on who's attending, who's coming up to your booth, and how you're presenting it. So you're going to be having your pitch. Are you going to have shifts? How are you going to have people up there to present? Or is it going to be you there the whole entire time standing at the booth? So it's a lot of things that involve in preparing, because we always try to do a whole checklist on it to making sure we cover everything, because you got to maximize this time. You've already paid all this money to go to this event. So now how do we maximize this event to make the bang on the buck? So are you going to be doing demonstrations? Just a little bit more details would really help me. So I guess too, you can tell me more when we do our live, so that way I can really help you and give you some really good feedback. So it's real time, and we can use that as it for other people's as a learning and for everyone involved. Because I
Yeah.
really want to ask you some more questions.
Okay, Keisha. Yeah, we'll do that. But I do know
Mm-hmm.
Martin
Mm-hmm.
personally. He's a great client of ours,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that he specializes in drone technology and has
Nice.
done work for NASA. So I was thinking, when we've worked with him in the past, we've asked him to bring one of his drones
Mm-hmm.
to exhibit, which attracted a lot of attention. So that might be something to keep in mind when you chat with him later on.
Okay. Oh, that's really good. So that's a really good. I didn't even expect that good example for the because it just feels good when you have people who's actually doing it and you see that what we're teaching works. What we're teaching our clients, it works. But we just need those examples so that way you can see, oh, this is what I do. I bring my samples in if I'm doing whatever, if I'm doing janitorial, so I could whatever, however you do it, but you got to take your time and put it together so it can be beneficial for everyone. Just bringing your material data books in, saying we also certified and different things of that nature. So definitely we're going to be able to enjoy that one as we do our live. So let me keep on going because you said it was only one, right, Yasmin?
Yeah, just one question so
Okay,
far.
good. Okay, good. All right, let me go to the next slide. All right, so now step 4, the proof and differentiation. So like for example, I have over 22 years experience. I'm DWIA certified because I'm going to kick that in there. Many times, many people say I'm a woman-owned small business, but that's not what you do. You're not, yes, you are a woman, but that's not what you do. So you always start off with your experience. You can put your certifications in there and all that stuff in there if they ask. I always wait till they ask me for, are you a woman-owned small business? Yes. Are you a veteran-owned small? Oh, yes, I am, because I want them to understand, look, I'm more than my certifications. I went to all this training. I've been to all these schools. I done got all these degrees. I want to use them. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to definitely present that information. So yes, I'm the WIA certified. I'm with NCMA. I'm with APMP. You start putting all that stuff in there, but you got to keep it concise. So that's why I don't put everything in. I put the most important stuff in there. And then when they ask me, well, do you have this? Yes, I got that certification too. By the way, I've been doing it for 3 years or 4 years doing that. So that's why I always keep up with my certifications, everything. I keep everything. And then track and then I have a track record of helping small business secure contracts. Then I could even went in there and quantified helping 350 small business, over 300 and 500 small business, because it's going to keep going up as I continue to do this. But quantified data, people love to see that. They love to see how you differentiate, and they love to see the quantified data because they want to know, I don't want to have to babysit you. I want to be able to give you this task and then you get it done. I don't want to have to keep coming back, watching you, check, because if I got to do that, why do I need you? You understand what I'm saying? So in this business, you have to be very responsible and you have to be reliable and you have to be able to get the work done as you said you were going to do. And we bring proven expertise to the table. So I'm going to tell you how I bring expertise to the table. And then it builds your credibility. It sets the speaker apart by showcasing experience, certification, and tangible results. That's just the way it is. So if I'm doing a proposal and they want to know, okay, have you did proposal writing for and DISA? So then you could say, yes, I've done proposal writing for DISA. I've won 2 contracts, or I've just written, or if I've only reviewed several contracts in, but I've never written. You're just giving them the information that they need to make an informed decision. Okay, and decision makers in government contracting, they trust experience. They want proven past performance, and they want those industry credentials. So if you PMP, show them that PMP certification. If you're a coach, ICF, that coach certification. That's why I'm working on my coaching certification now, because as a coach, they want you to have all these different certifications if you're going after government contracts. And my goal is also, always going after government contracts, because you have to keep practicing what you preach. You have to do it because things change, systems change, processes change. That's why you will always be continuing to learn. And those who do not continue to learn, they always lose. And then they don't win that many contracts. They can't get through because they're not continuously learning. Because with this technology, things are changing constantly. Now, how do you keep abreast of stuff changing? You have to be actively pursuing things. That's why I'm actively always pursuing subcontracts. That's why I had to build a team, but you always start as one and then you continue to build. Because first I was doing all the work, then you get team members and then they come in and you put them butts in seat and then they can start doing the work. Then you can really manage, but that's how it goes. Now, highlighting specific numbers, your certification, and your success story strengthen the pitch and provide social proof. So that's why I'm always about the proof. If you're saying to me I can do IT services, well, then I want to know what IT services certifications you have. If you're telling me I'm a software developer, okay, so what software development have you done? Or did you just graduate from school and you're just giving us your experience? But then you need to start putting together some personal projects so you can start referencing so people can see your work because people want to see tangible results. They want to see that you've worked on Power BI. They want to know that you've done the Google Analytics and all those stuff if you're a social media person. They want to know if you're janitorial services, how many people are on your team and what compliant eco-friendly stuff are you using? Because nowadays you just got to prove everything because it's very competitive. Now, step 5, the call to action. Now, let's set up a quick 15-minute call next week to explore how we can help businesses navigate the contracting process. Yours may be, let's set up a quick 20-minute capability brief to explore how we can help your business navigate, because you always have to ask for the call to action. When I wasn't asking for the call to action, no one was saying let's go to the next step. So you have to initiate. So like even when I get off a call, can you give me a review? Can you give me a 5-star review or a 4-star? What did you find valuable out of that? Because if you don't get those proof points, how can you have those for when you need the social proof? Because they're going to want to know. And so that's why the next call to action, you have to decide what your call to action going to be. Can I send you my capability brief? Can I send you my capability brief that and then schedule a 15-minute call so I can show you some of our products, our work, and just like someone in our audience, look, I can show you a demonstration of the drone or something like that. That's exciting. That's stuff that we need to know. And then those are the different things you can do to really because people love demonstrations, telling stories and how I help my client and so forth and so on. What we're trying to do is get to the next step. All right. We talk to these people. Now what? What's the next step? Do we just get their business card and then nothing after that? No, you have to go to the next step. So that's what it's all is, step 1, step 2. So then after we went through the whole process, you may think, oh, I need to add a step 6 because I need to do a follow-up. So then you add step 6. So as you keep working through it, you're going to customize it for your business because you may have a different, wow, let's schedule a quick 15-minute demo because I got to show you how it works. Or I just created this new software and it helps small business to win government contracts. Can I show it to you? Do that demo. So that's why I said it's through your lens. It's through whatever your industry is. You have to customize it. We all get this generic stuff and then we want it to just, no, you have to customize it to your company, your industry. There's best practices in your industry. It is all different. So that's why I always say you have to customize everything. And then our call to action should be specific, low risk, and time sensitive. Offering a short consultation or capability briefing is an effective call to action because it removes the barriers to engagement while keeping the conversation moving. What we're trying to do is keep the conversation moving to the next step because the goal is to get us a contract, right? The goal is to find out who are the people in the area. That's the whole reason for the elevator pitch, is to get an introduction to the decision maker. It's to explain, it's just our little persuasive, our sales persuasive pitch. That's all it is we're trying to persuade people to purchase our service. And that is why it's important that you work through the steps, because this is a very important tool to add into your toolkit. Now, customize your elevator pitch. Now, we talked about the pitch for networking events. That's relationship building focus. So we want our pitch to be relationship building focus. Now, say I want to pitch for a prime contract because I want to highlight my team and potential. Okay, I want to be on your team. You know, if you are pitching to another subcontractor because you want to be the tier 2, so maybe you're they're tier 1, and that little piece of the project you can do. You can do all of the Power BI and all that, and you want to be that expert in that field. Then you pitch to that subcontractor that I want to be your subcontractor, tier 2, because it happens all the time. Or the prime picks 2 subcontractors. You just never know. All right. And then you're pitching to decision makers. You're showing them your experience and capability. So that's why I say you have to practice, and you got to know your audience, and you got to know where you're at. Customize your pitch. Always customize. Don't just give the same pitch to everybody. And once you do that, you're going to be more confident too when you're speaking to different people. Okay. So let's keep moving. And then things to avoid in your elevator pitch, like being too vague. Avoid the generalities, those general statements like we do everything. Because I mean, we still keep hearing it. You can't do everything, because if you're doing everything, you ain't doing something right. You especially if you're a one-person show, how are you doing everything if you're a one-person show? But I know most people doing the one, you are doing everything. You wear multiple hats. So but you have to specialize, because they want to know, if I'm asking for a software developer, I want a software developer. If I'm asking for janitorial services, that's what we need to be pitching. Or we provide solutions. Okay. We put solution to what? What is the solution to? So make sure we don't be too vague without specifying what we do. Instead, be clear, concise, and about your service and value. Keep it straightforward. And that's why I said practice it, because when you practice it and record it, and then you go back and watch, you be like, "Oh, that wasn't concise. I said too many times. I did this too many times. Let me work on that." And that's why I love recording video, because I go back, I'll say, "Oh, I need to work on that again. Let me refine it." Because we have to be truthful to ourselves, and then work on those areas that we need to improve in. And then once we're truthful to ourselves, then we can actually fix the problem. Now, avoid overloading with jargon too many times, because I'm contracting. We'll use a contracting term in a minute. It took me so long when I was first starting working with my uh, counselor with all my clients. They'd be like, "Well, what does that mean?" I said, "Oh, I apologize, because I was using too many technical terms." So then I had to learn how to practice to speak it in plain English, like, "Okay, this is what this means," or give like a comparison, like on the football team, this is the person who do this, or like those different, I'll come up with different ways to explain. Then they'd be like, "Oh, that's what you meant. Okay." So then I knew they understood, because they were like, "Oh, okay, I understand what you mean." So I had to get really strategic at that. I mean, it was hard, because I was military and a contracting person. So I had the military jargon down pat, and then I had the contracting jargon down pat. So it was a lot. It took me a long time, but I'm getting better, because I keep practicing, I keep teaching. And then I love your feedback, because when I get your feedback, it tells me, "Oh, I didn't break it down enough." And then I go back, refine my training to make it clearer. I add more slides, I put more examples in. And because of you all's feedback, it's been able to make me into a better trainer, instructor, teacher. So that way it's a win-win for both of us. I'm making sure that I'm helping small businesses, and you're getting what you need to be successful in the government contracting space. Then talking too long. Keep that pitch within 30 to 60 seconds. I've seen some long-winded explanations, and people tend to lose interest. So that's why when I'm giving my training, I like to take breaks too, because I've even seen presentations. You'd be like, oh my God, is they ever gonna give me 2 seconds to say anything? Or I have a question. So that's why I like to stop, take questions. But because of the attention span, I have to keep my thought so that way I don't lose the thought. So you have to know yourself too, be like, oh, I can't lose my train of thought. So I'm gonna have to put a natural pause in here because I've been and forgot what the world I was about to say. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about knowing who you are, knowing who your audience is, and customize it for you. Because if you customize it for you, then it's like, oh, I love doing what I do. And it's not even hard work because I customize it so it's a win-win. All right. So, and then focus on key points that matter most. Now, focusing only on yourself, please don't do that. It's we're trying to frame it in such a way that we're letting them know this is how I can help you. You know, we have something that can help you. Don't just focus on yourself. Focus on your customer. Oh, I'm trying to get with DHS, or if you're trying to go with GS, learn about your customer and what the customer needs. Do they need staffing? Do they need this? Do they need that? And okay, I found out, okay, they do need software development. Now, what kind of software development? And who are the people I need to be talking to? Because what I've learned is we spend too much time talking to the people that we shouldn't be talking to because they're not going to tell nobody about us. We didn't just had a good practice session, but it didn't go anywhere. So understanding who you're talking to. Hey, by the way, who am I speaking with? Are you the program manager? Are what's your role? Because you got to sneak that stuff in so you can find out who you're talking to so you know what to say and how to tailor what you're talking about. So that's important, knowing who you're talking to. So we know they're just a worker bee and it ain't no, don't waste all that. What it was good speaking to you, and who may I ask to speak to? So it's all about, it's a conversation. You actively listening, probing, have your probing questions memorized so you know which question to go to when they tell you who they are. Is they the senior manager that's going to approve this? Are they a decision maker? I mean, who are they? And that's going to determine how you pitch to that individual. Okay. They're not a teaming partner. So we're not going to pitch to them like a teaming partner. They're not a decision maker. So we're trying to pitch to them, hey, can you tell me who the decision maker is? You understand? So that's the importance of that. So those are the things to avoid. Let me go. I got one more slide for you with that one because I wanted you to understand these things you need to avoid. Now, the lack of energy and confidence, that monotone delivery. OMG, you don't put me to sleep. Come look, now I got plenty energy for days. And people tell me, boy, have you had all that coffee? I'm like, no, this is natural. Now the coffee just makes it a little bit more, but this is natural because I want to convey, right? That I'm the one, I know what I'm talking about. I've done this, been there, done it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. You understand? But if you come in there, well, maybe that leaves people, do they know what they're talking about? Is there some doubt? Is there some this? Or, it's all about putting together, you know, your enthusiasm, and it kind of like it will make the other person want to do more or help you, and because it'll get them all happy and they enthusiasm, and then we're having an engaging conversation. And then forgetting the call to action. Always include the next steps. Can I send you my capability brief? Can we set up a call next week? Without this pitch, it lacks direction because you don't know what the next step is. You don't know, should I call them? Should I can did I hit? Was this a success? You don't know anything. So just make that call to action so that way you can understand. And then not practicing. People, a poorly pitched, delivered pitch can sound unprepared or unnatural. So that's why I keep saying, keep practicing, keep practicing, practicing. Get in the mirror, record yourself, rehearse it with your counselor, your colleagues. Just have a real conversation so you know exactly, you know, how I sound when I say it, or I said it this way, but I should have said it this way, or I like this way, but I should have said it just a little bit different. You understand what I'm saying? So it's important to figure out how you want to, you know, craft your statement. So now I'm gonna stop at this slide before I go to the next slide because we're coming to the top of the hour and I wanted to make sure I didn't have any questions. And then also, I wanted to tell you about some important events that you should be attending to that I know of uh, that I like to make sure I explain to small business. Okay, Yasmin, do I have any more questions before I move on?
Thanks, Akisha. Yes, just one more. You had mentioned recording
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and the
Mm-hmm.
question is, what tool do you use to record yourself?
Okay, well, I use Google Meet because I use everything that's free. Because if I've already paid for Google Meet, it's like I'm in a meeting, right? I'm sharing my slides and I'm practicing it and it records you, right? So then I go back and watch the recording because I'm practicing like I'm giving a capability brief. So that's the reason why I use Google Meet because I've already got the software. Now, if you're using Zoom, same thing. Record yourself like you in a meeting and then present your slides because you're walking through it, right? Because it's going to get natural as you continue to walk through it. And then you go back and watch it. And then you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I didn't like that. Let me record it again. Oh, yeah, I like that one. Okay, let me add this because now you get to see your playback. And so that's why I use Google Meet. Now, there's other stuff out there like Otter, because that's a transcription one. I believe then I heard about a circle back and then fireflies. It's a bunch of different ones out there, but I only use stuff that I already have. Now, if I need some extra stuff and I know I'm going to use it constantly, then I will use extra stuff. But I recommend you use Google Meet if you already have the Google Suite software because it's easy to do. You just put that calendar invite on your calendar and then what time you want to record it. So it's like you practicing that brief. So what I did was I put it on there and then when 3:30 came, it popped, went on my calendar. I hit join the meeting and then, of course, I'm the only person in the meeting. Or if you have a friend that will join the meeting with you, that's okay too. And then once I joined the meeting, then I hit the share screen, I hit record, and then I went over my slides like I was giving a presentation. And that's when I seen, oh yeah, I didn't like that. Let me re-record that. Or then I heard the hum, all that stuff we do when we're talking because we're nervous. And then I was like, oh, I got to work on that. And then that's how I was able to stop. I still do it from time to time, but I'm getting better at it. But I hope that helped. But Google Meet is perfect to start off with.
I agree. Thank you.
Okay. Now, the next thing, what I want to talk about. So now about the elevator pitch. Now, Neil McDonald on LinkedIn does a lot of GovCon networking events. Practice your elevator pitch on there because he's always looking, and then he always says in his, because I think he does it Monday through Friday at noon, every Monday through Friday, and he always asks his attendees to go register and so that way, and then he tell you to introduce yourself. So keep practicing it. Now that's your virtual introduction because you never know. You could, oh, excuse me, you could be attending one of those events and you could find a teaming partner. You can find someone who was going after the same agency that you were going after. You're the prime, you need a subcontractor. And then a software developer popped their information in there and then you reached out to them. So that's why I said use those industry days for your elevator pitch, okay? Because I'll be popping my stuff in there every time, just in case someone's looking for a coach or consultant. I'm gonna put my stuff in there. So then Jennifer Shao, she's been on one of our presenters as well. She has the GovCom Networking Summer Solace coming up as well at the John F. Kennedy Center, which I mean they normally have approximately 300 to 400 federal contractors, and I believe that was in June, but that one is in person. So Neil's is virtual, but Jennifer's, if I'm not mistaken, is in person. And so these are another opportunities to add on your calendar. So you got your yearly calendar where you plug everything in that you're going to attend to from January all the way to December. And then that way you can always keep up with, okay, how many events am I attending this month? Okay, that way you can practice, right? Because we're looking for opportunities to practice. And then you put all those on your calendar. And that way you'll know, oh, wait a minute, I can't do all of these because I still got to go to work. I still got to follow up with these people that when I do reach out to them, and then I'm pitching and then I'm putting those next steps in. So be careful with that when you're scheduling out. But those two events I wanted to make sure I let you know about because I missed telling you that on the communication slide. So I had to go through my slides one more time and make sure I covered everything because I always like to make little notes so that way I keep up with where we are, and that way I don't forget anything. Okay, before we get ready to go on our break, and I'm just going to talk about the next segment of this training we're going to be going over. Okay, so the live of the elevator pitch is only for volunteers. If you don't want to, please do not. But it's just to help you. It's just to give you that interactive so that way we can take you off mute because it's sometimes when you're typing in the chat, um, some of the stuff get lost. So having these interactive sessions allows for us, just keep it general and no proprietary information or anything put in there, but it helps. And then that way you can get the feedback. And then if the audience knows something or wants to add some feedback, well, then you type it into the chat. But this is a way for attendings if they want to volunteer to pitch and of course I'm gonna start it off with my pitch. I'm going to show you how I started off. Now my pitch is not perfect, but it's there to help you. It's there to give you some different things to just be a tool to add in your toolbox and ways to add, or maybe you might not like something and then just readjust. Okay. So at that, the last thing was before we go on our break, because we still have 4 minutes, I wanted to give you this last little bit. Okay, so now when we have the people that felt a little bit confident and able to pitch, please, if you don't mind, you can pitch too, because that way, if you want a little bit of construction, it'll be good for you. So that way you'll know exactly. And I believe that was everything I had, my little notes I had before we go on our break.
Okay, so yeah, so anybody who's interested in participating, get yourself ready. It's a good chance to practice, as Akeisha says, and
Mm-hmm.
help you start to polish what you say when you're out and about, which will hopefully be a very busy year for you.
Well, that's the goal. And don't forget, let me tell them, don't forget to get the book if you need help or you want other examples, the government sales manual and the Insider's Guide to Government Contracting. And I believe Michael Lejeune, he just put out a book as well. So you can probably get his book but I don't remember if he had an elevator pitch in his book. I'm reading through his book now because I purchased that book too, because I'm always looking for books to give to our clients because it's low price. They be like $10.99, $9.99, and that way, but it has so much packed with so much value. So that's the reason why we always offer those books, because the books provide you a way of gaining perspective from that author. And then that way you'll have that information for it. But I believe that's the book I wanted to tell you all about.
Okay, so are we ready to go on the break,
Yes,
Akeisha?
yeah, because I wanted to make sure before they left, I wanted to make sure I had everything ready. And but yes, I think everything's ready, and then we could just get started, and then we'll start going through the handouts. And then of course, yes, everybody will get a copy of the handouts, so they can start, because I really want them to understand all the different things they need to do when they're crafting the capabilities. So I wanted to make sure I left time for that, but I also wanted to make sure I had time for the I'm going to give the first part of it, but if anybody wants to do their pitch prior to me doing the examples, it doesn't matter to me. You just put it in the chat so that way we can pull you up on the on off of mute, but then I'll go through those 5 ones that I had put, and then also mine elevator pitch. So I can just give you a couple of examples so you can feel really confident and confident in going after it. So because this is our first training with this one, that's the reason why we're taking our time, making sure we understand the needs of the community, and then getting your feedback. So please make sure you give your feedback, and then other things that you would like to see added in this training, because we really like this training. We really want to make sure you're getting everything that you need. And then also I'll be looking for more resources so I can add into the resources on the slides next time, because we just started this and I really didn't know what the small business wanted to hear. So that's why I said, well, we're just going to get it started and then we're going to make it better next time.
Okay, thank you. So we will pause for 5 minutes. See you all back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back, everybody.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back. So we're now on the pitch part. And so I don't know if I had any volunteers yet, but if not, then I was going to just get it started. And then those, when you're ready, if you want to volunteer, then the floor is open. You just let us know so we can take you off mute. So do we have anybody volunteering, Yasmin, or should I go ahead and get started?
Yeah, I think you can get started. Oh,
Okay.
Martin said that he will volunteer.
Okay,
So,
come on, Martin.
Martin, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. My voice is not the radio voice that I used to have, so sorry about that. But anyways, you can hear me okay, right?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Great. Okay, so I can just give you the pitch quick, and I appreciate Akisha's and Yasmin's organization of all this. Is really good and very timely for us. So the pitch, should I go ahead then?
Yes, please do.
Okay, sure. So while most drones capture images and videos, ours capture something more vital, the invisible threats that are in the air that we breathe. So our autonomous drones combine advanced gas sensors with precision flight capabilities to create 3D maps of the air pollution at a certain location. This breakthrough in environmental monitoring gives researchers and regulators the data they need to make fact-based decisions to protect the public health and create a cleaner environment. So that's kind of the generic one for the folks interested in air quality.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you.
Akeisha? Hi, Keisha. Do you want to give some feedback?
Oh, I was still on mute. I apologize. I'm just a talking. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Martin, that was excellent. The only thing, now you did a really good job and it was really good. Not only thing, because I was wondering about the quantified. So like how many agencies have you done it for?
So we had really a very nice success story. Last
Mm-hmm,
June, we
mm-hmm,
flew over the Gulf of Mexico,
mm-hmm,
and we went with a NASA team to measure emissions from oil rigs around. We were in the ocean 2 weeks, so we
mm-hmm,
took our own heavy lift drone and took a NASA sensor payload, and we were successful there, basically taking off and landing from a research vessel.
mm-hmm,
I was a pilot, so I earned my flight pilot wings for sure. And but yeah, we did it all. And the customer who's basically my goal. This my company is going to be 25 years old in May.
mm-hmm.
So seeing the whole NASA team so happy with the data, we did really nice scientific discoveries. Well, that's kind of the most actionable success that we are using to leverage all these meetings and all these opportunities to present in front of a larger audience.
That was really good too, because you have that success story. So you created a storyboard. That's what you're using at the event that you're going to. You have your storyboard with your pictures and all those things there as well.
Yes. I've been a big fan of conferences and talking to
Mm-hmm.
people and engaging people. And indeed, I have lots of videos and pictures which are really amazing. I mean,
Good.
I love the beach and everything, but when you're in the middle of the ocean, that is something giving you a completely different perspective on things. The
Yes.
the blue color is something that I've never seen before, other than from space. So
Yes.
yeah, we have plenty of material and videos, and I'm always trying to make things better because we are in a stage that we want to grow the team for the company,
Mm-hmm.
and we build relationships with primes. And we have. Yeah, I'm very grateful to have one of the counselors there at Apex working with me,
Mm-hmm.
who's been fantastic. Richard Payton, you probably know him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm coming from and going to.
Good, because that general pitch was wonderful, but you didn't
Thank
quantify
you.
any of the information that you just it told me in your success story, in because I didn't hear that at the beginning. So that's why I said, where's your success story? How did you plug it in there when you that way you can plug in the success that you had with the drone service. You understand?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Definitely, I will
Okay.
put it in
All
there.
right. Well, thank you so much for that,
Thank you.
because that really gives people real time. That I'm telling you, having that assistant helps to really, because you don't know what you don't know, and then just
Correct.
pitching to other people and be like, hey, so what do you think? What do you think I should have added, or what I missed, or something? Because I'm telling you, that success, it intrigued me. It drew me in. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know how
Nice.
you did that.
100% agree, Akisha. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks, Martin, and good luck, and let us know how you get on with your upcoming event. And our next volunteer is, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Is it Dia or D? You can unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead,
It's
please.
it's Daya.
Daya, nice
Yes.
to meet you, Daya.
Nice to meet you as well. Okay. This has not been updated based on this training yet, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway.
Okay.
Divine Sense offers legal program design and management, professional development, workplace wellness, civics, employment, and life skills trainings and healing justice programs to government and nonprofit organizations and the special populations they serve. Our approach draws on more than 20 years of combined experience in law teaching, law practice in judicial and executive agencies, law practice in nonprofit legal service organizations, and holistic wellness and life skills. Divine Senses services help government, businesses, and nonprofits support employee health, workplace morale, talent retention, special populations, operational efficiency, mission efficacy, and public relations.
Yes. Well, you did a wonderful job as well. But now listening to the training and now listening to your pitch, you see where you need to make adjustments, don't you?
I do. Part of me feels like I want to narrow it a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yes.
too verbose.
Yes. So let
Um,
me let me tell you. Oh, well, no, no, I apologize. Let me finish listening to you, and then I can tell you from there.
okay, so that's the first thing, is that it's
Hmm.
too wordy.
Right.
And then I feel like it could be this one. I was trying to tailor to, law firms and like judiciaries. Um,
Hmm.
but I feel like this, like I said, so many words make kind of like maybe take away from that. And then I also wanted to add in quantifiers. Those are
Hmm.
the two things that pop out the most. And so I am ready for feedback though.
Yes, but still, it was wonderful. You did a very good job. But remember how I want you to do it too. Remember step one, the hook. Step two, step three, step four. Now break it all the way down. Answer the questions, right, in those steps, and then go back and quantify it. Add the quantifiers in the quantifying section. And then remember, we're going to customize. So if we're only doing a law firms, right? Or the judiciary, then you focus only on the words they use, only on the content they use, because that's who our audience. Now, if we're doing a team and partner, then we're going to customize it for that team and partner. But if we're doing subcontract work, or if we're doing a networking event, remember those pitch are customized according to what the target audience is. And you did good though. And you hadn't even had the training yet. And you did really good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dea. That was great. Okay, if anybody else would like to volunteer, feel free to unmute yourself. Okay, we have Chris. Chris, please introduce yourself.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Chris Spencer,
Hey, Chris.
Spencer Technology Solutions.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
Yep,
yeah, we can hear
we
you.
can.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start with mine. Hello, I'm Chris Spencer, CEO of Spencer Technology Solutions. Government agencies waste millions due to software failures, security vulnerabilities, and unpredictable project delays. At Spencer Technology Solutions, we ensure that doesn't happen. I know that agencies often deal with slow, unreliable software that causes downtime, compliance risks, and security gaps. This leads to missed deadlines, cost overruns, and increased public oversight. We specialize in software development, cybersecurity, and agile implementation. We help government agencies launch secure, high-performance software on time and within budget. With over 20 years of experience leading software development and agile transformation, including Cisco's security division, where I contribute to developing advanced threat detection technology used in government and enterprise security, and now optimizing operation at the Williams Law Firm. I understand the complexity of building scalable, compliant, and efficient solutions. We hold key certifications in Agile and testing, ensuring we meet the highest federal standards. I would love to set up a quick 30 minutes call to explore how we can help improve your software reliability and security. When would be a good time to connect?
Okay. Look, now you know that was good, but you know that was too wordy, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure because
Yes.
I was timing you. I said, now look now. I said, well, but it's wonderful because you wanted to get it all in. I know you wanted to get it all in before, because we're limited on time, but that was almost 3 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I almost now because I stopped the timer too. But I said, but that's why I say put the timer on when you're recording yourself, right? Put the timer on, and that little stopwatch it's gonna tell you the truth. That stopwatch tell you the truth. And you put a lot of good information. But who is our audience? Because you told me a lot of stuff. So who was our audience for this one?
Well, this is a general one.
Okay, so you were giving me your general pitch for the networking event.
Yes.
Yeah, but for the network event, because we're doing general and we're trying to get them to the next phase, make sure we don't lose their attention because you know how people are, squirrel, 10 to 15 seconds, you got to catch that attention to make them want more. And then the past performance. Now, because you went a little bit long, so I forgot who your past performance was. So what your past performance was with?
With Cisco,
Let's see.
and now I'm working with a law.
But you see what I'm saying? So you see how quickly, because I was trying to capture everything you were saying to me, because you were saying a lot of things to me. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute, who was the past performance will get? So but that's how it's going to be in real time. They're not going to have a notepad in their hand to capture all that information that you're giving. And sometimes you'll have your capability statement with you, but it's like a business card, right? Our pitch is like our business card. You can't put a lot on there. You got to put only the most important basic information that they can retain because of our attention span. And then guess what? By the way, I'm about to go talk to somebody else. So, I done forgot everything. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're at an event. So I'm going to be talking to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 more people. I want to be able to remember you. So it's like, I got to make you remember me somehow, somehow. So when I call you, you'll know, oh, that was such and such. We talked about this, you understand? So think about that too. How can I make them remember me so that way they know to get that service? And that's why I'm really happy for this training and doing all these lives, because now I see where I need to focus too and put some more training in there to make sure we understand that we're rememberable. But you got to understand, it got to be a snapshot. It got to be 30, I'm telling you, 30 to 60 seconds. I've already forgotten most of everything and then I'm trying to figure it out. You understand what I'm saying? So great pitch, but we got to figure it out. We got to keep practicing it. Keep putting it, because you was trying to tell me everything you did, everything, and it was good. But I'm like, I forgot a lot because I didn't get a chance to really grasp it, because then I could have asked you a question. So which agency did, because you got to give the person time to ask a question, and that way they'll remember you, because we're trying to get them to remember our name and remember our company and call us and get to the next step.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and good luck. This is great. We have another volunteer. It's William. Hello, William. Please introduce yourself and start your pitch.
Hi, I'm William McLeod. I'm a founder at a startup. We're a little bit different in that we're developing our own technology rather than bidding on contracts. But I suppose that there are R&D contracts out there. Anyway, here's the pitch I've been working with. My name is William McLeod. I'm a founder at Salient Direct Ocean Capture. We're a research and development company working to advance carbon dioxide removal technology. Our technical objective is to bring down the cost of CDR to a price that compliance markets can absorb, and we're doing that through electrochemical direct ocean capture and saleable co-products and co-benefits, including production of industrial gases like hydrogen and oxygen, as well as conditioning city water. These secondary revenue streams bring financial stability to a space that typically has to operate in the nascent voluntary markets and is a real differentiator for us. We're putting in our SBIR Phase 1 grant application with the Department of Energy and partnering with the University of Virginia to validate our proof of concept in the lab now. We're looking for partners in industry and government to collaborate with on scaled up experiments in the future.
Okay, so that was it?
That was it.
Okay, so you was 56. Okay, that one's almost 60 seconds. But now you did good on that. But the only thing is so I was getting, and I heard the Department of Energy, and you, because it's your specialty and what you do, I got kind of lost, because I was like, okay, tell me again, what is it that you do?
Research and development in carbon
so
dioxide
R&D.
removal.
Okay, got you. So R&D, and then so what will be pitching again? Because I got to hear it one more time, because you said it real fast. So I was like, God, so you said it a little fast, so I was trying to keep up with you. So it's like, we got to kind of like pace it, but make sure they understand it, what you saying, because I got it, but then I heard DOE, and now I remember R&D, because that's why I had to ask you again. But let me get it one more time, because you were a little fast, and I was trying to catch you.
Well, one of that's exactly one of the challenges I have is being able to identify who I'm pitching to, because there's a wide breadth of between the technical details and what yeah, I guess
Got you. So you struggle with what I struggled with when I first started is I was using all my contracting jargon, and I was using all of my military jargon, and I had to learn how to speak it in plain English, like tell them, how those people out there do the washi, but not making it too simplistic that it takes away from what I do, but making it just enough so they can, it's like telling a story, but you got to understand how to tell a story in a way who that audience. So like, are you trying to, this was an agency you was talking to, correct?
I was envisioning myself at something like
was it a networking event?
Yeah, a networking event. So I had assumed a higher than average understanding of the space, and I think you're right. I need to have a couple more of these tailored for different audiences.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm contracting, right? And I do the contracts, and I will be writing your contract, and you'll use all that jargon in there, contract, right? But then that won't help me, because we will learn a certain way in contracting too, because we have to write for all, we have to write for services, professional, everything we do. So making that plain English, like assuming that they don't understand, but making it, it's like, you have to find that balance. You understand what I'm saying? So that way you can, and then ask probing questions. Did you understand what I was saying? Or did I just speak all that and it just went over their head and they just said yes? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like those probing questions that you can stop. So are you familiar with that? Are you familiar with ocean and whatever that was? You see what I'm saying? So that way I can make sure it's like active listening, how we talk with other people. Yes, it's a 30-second pitch, but it's also trying to get them to bite. It's trying to get them to ask more. It's also trying to because that's why you got to hook them in. If you don't hook me in at the beginning, you done basically lost me, right? So I'm trying to hook you in so you could ask more, because like with the drone, I was intrigued. He was out there in the water. I said, okay, well, let me find out a little bit more, because he broke it down in a way that I can understand, although the quantitative and on the past performance, but then now he understands how to put that success story in. It's about tying it all together, pausing, bringing it, and then you continue on to make sure they're along for the ride. So it's like we pulling it all together because you have a lot of expertise, but it's like a specialty. So when we're a specialty, we have to even take that much more energy to make sure that our audience understands what we're saying, because not everybody in there has your level of expertise in that, and you're bringing them along on the ride.
Yeah. And over Zoom like this, I can't see your eyes and to figure out which words you've got picked up and which ones.
Yes, correct. But you did good though, and I can see that you're passionate about your service offering and you're trying to tailor it. But that's why I had to go down and break it down. When I'm doing a networking event, I have to make it even simpler because I don't know who's in my audience. When I'm doing a team and partner, they're looking for my subject matter expertise. So now I can give them a little bit of my jargon, a little bit of this. But if I'm talking to a decision maker, I want to know that they know what I'm talking about, because I want them to approve. I want them to write the requirement for my company, my agency. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like those pulling up that and map it. So how I'm going to talk to each person and then put it together. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, William. That was great. Do we have we have another one. Wonderful. Ebony, you're on next. Please introduce yourself and then go into your pitch.
Hi, I am Dr. Ebony Gray. I serve as the certified SCORE mentor and the CEO of Gray's Consulting Group. Government contracting is a $700 billion industry, yet small businesses, especially women and minority-owned, struggle to break in due to complex regulations. Gray's Consulting Group helps to solve this problem by providing high-impact training and developing an AI-powered platform to simplify the contracting process. I currently have 20 years experience, a proven track record with agencies like Department of Defense, HUD, NSA, and over 1,000 businesses have been trained by my company. I'm currently seeking funding to expand our training programs and accelerate our AI development by bridging this gap and unlocking billions in untapped opportunities. Would you like to partner to help fund the future of federal procurement together?
Oh, that was good. I like it. You put it all together. You put your past performance, you quantified it, you kept it short, sweet, and simple. And I pretty much, plus I resonate with you because that is what I do. Now, if the audience don't resonate with you and that's what they do, then they have missed something, because you did it good, but you was fast. And you did your 1 minute too.
Thank you. I was taking notes from the others. So just so y'all know, I'm not that perfect, but I was taking notes. So thank you. And you were a great instructor.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Ebony. That was wonderful. And in case anyone else would like to volunteer, just to remind you, this is a safe, supportive space. There will be no criticism that's unwarranted or unuseful, not useful. So don't worry about it. We're not here to laugh at people or anything. We're here to help you improve. So please step forward if you can. So the next person we have is Keenan. Hello, Keenan. Please introduce yourself and then go into your pitch.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hi, Keenan. No, I can't really hear you. Can you speak up, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for being here. Thank you for the training and appreciate the the professor, coach, mentor, sergeant major. Thank you. My name is Keenan Ward. I am the president and CEO of Ford Engineering. We've noticed the DoD is struggling to deliver complex weapon systems and rapid capabilities to the warfighter. So I've established a veteran-owned engineering firm that provides system engineering technical services across the DoD acquisition development lifecycle that can accelerate delivery of rapid capabilities to our warfighter. And the way we do this is that we enable the DoD customers and industry partners to accelerate their innovations and deliver advanced weapon systems to provide agile digital transformation, model-based system engineering, and technical assistance. We would love to do a capability pitch with you if you have time next week. Here's my business card.
Okay.
Okay.
That was about 49. That's 57. Well, you did good. Now, what I would ask you, because so that means to me, you're targeting military, all those different commanders, program managers in that office, because that's who that pitch was crafted for, correct?
DoD contractors and also, DoD industry leaders, which I'm talking to OSD right now, but yes.
I figured because you were saying the warfighter, okay? And when you use terms like warfighter, you didn't say service members or airmen, or so that to me, I took it as you were offering it to like maybe Army. Is this Marine? I mean, who is the warfighter that you're trying to get
So
to?
warfighter is a general term, right? So
Yeah.
that's all. It's a blanket statement for all services. So
Well,
the
you know
warfighter.
I'm military, right? You do
Oh
know
yeah,
I'm command side. And Marines, you know what Marines tell me? I'm a Marine, okay? You know
yeah,
what seamen tell me? I'm a seaman.
yeah.
So that's why I say,
Aerospace and
um,
sea. That's even my theme
uh-huh.
for my model for my company is aerospace and sea.
Okay, good.
So,
But you see, I like that one because now you're speaking to everybody. Because I mean, we always balance soldiers. We tell you that's Army. We're gonna tell you who. So that's why I say, who is your audience? Are you talking to the decision maker? Are you talking to the commanders? Are you talking to program managers?
whoever's got the money. No.
Well, come on now. We want to talk to the requirement holder so that way
Yes,
we can get
right.
that
That's
thing
right. That's right.
approved.
That's right.
Exactly. But you did good. But
Who
I
has
just
the
wanted to
need?
make sure.
Mhm. I just said who has the need.
Mm-hmm. But
Yes.
see, now we talked about that in our slides, everybody. Each one has to be, because we want to feel special. If you're talking to the decision maker, we want to feel special. If you're talking to a team and partner, how are you going to come on the team and you're going to provide your service to complement my service? You understand what I'm saying? So when I say customize, I mean customize. So that was your general networking pitch. Correct? Hello? Did I go out?
Hello?
Oh,
No,
okay,
No,
there
you
you go.
good.
no, we're here.
I was just listening for the lesson.
Oh, no, that's why I was asking you. So when you customizing, so you do have your different pitches when you go to your networking event, your team and opportunities, and when you're talking to the decision makers, correct?
I don't have it written down, but I
Mm-hmm.
tend to adjust with the audience or whoever
Okay.
I'm talking to is exactly. Yeah, like, I mean,
Yes.
I go off the cuff. My thing is just to get the conversation going and then
Mm-hmm.
I make my adjustments at that point.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, this has been wonderful because I wanted to make sure I gave everybody a chance. I mean, these were been some excellent pitches, and I appreciate what you're doing. And then you're coming out here setting yourself up. And this right here is where you're gonna go back and watch it again. You'll be like, oh, I could have said this, I could have said it like this, and taking the input of everyone. That's why I'm always teaching group coaching and different things of that nature, and having these events where you can collaborate in a safe space where you can get these feedback and then you implement, and then you go out, rinse and repeat, do the same thing. And then because when you're in the middle of it or you talking to the decision maker, sometimes they're not going to give you the feedback. They're not going to, how we always ask for a debrief after we've submitted our proposal. And then some of the people like, no, they're not going to even do a debrief, or they give you a debrief very generic. You can't really implement in your plan and revise your proposals or anything of that nature to make it better for the win before. So having these things like this is just a means to show you different ways of thinking, how you can put it all together, and then to make you want to win contracts, because that's what our goal is. We're here because we want to win contracts. We want to move to the next phase. So I want them to call me and tell me, hey, I like what you're doing. Contact me on Monday and let's schedule a meeting. Or here are my emails. Send me an email, because we're just looking for the next phase. Because once we get to the next, I'm going to send them the email. Then once I send them the email, I'm going to verify they received my email. Then I'm going to get that capability brief to them. And then I'm going to show them exactly what we do. And then by the way, when you go to your meeting, come with either the procurement forecast, you've reviewed it, you've seen something in there that resonates with, or who is the POC, so that way while you're there talking to that person. So how, by the way, do you know Amanda? She's with this procurement. Is she available? Is she still working here? Because remember, everything we're doing is investigating. We're like the private investigator. We're trying to figure out how we're going to get to this next step and get this next contract that we're looking at. Everything is strategic, and it's a reason why you're doing it. You know, is to get to the next step. But before, because I want to be before, and if anybody else have one thing they want to put out, please let me know. But I'm gonna go ahead into the next slide, because I wanted to make sure we get time to, so you can see the handouts. Okay, so let me go pull up the handouts. Have any other screens? Okay. Okay, so the first one. Okay, this is for companies. Oh, I gotta pull it on that screen. Y'all can't see. Oh, I apologize. Let me put it over here. So can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Let me open it up. I'm looking for that little button so you can, oh, here it is. There we go. All right, so this is crafting a winner. So if you don't have any company experience, because I had some that didn't have any company experience. So let me blow it up for you. So now, how to position yourself as a valuable contractor even without business past performance. Okay, because a lot of my people come in, they don't have experience, they don't know how to get started. This is how you get started. Now, this is my handout number 2. So you're going to get both of these handouts. This handout number 2 and then number 1. All right, so how to position yourself as a valuable contractor even without business past performance. Now, if you're transitioning from being an employee to running your own business and don't yet have past performance as a company, your experience as an individual professional still holds weight, okay? You just got to do it a different way. You got to just show them what you can do. Now, for the government agencies and primes, they want to know that you or your team have the skills, credentials, expertise to execute contracts successfully. So this is how people with no company experience get started. Because I don't want you to feel like, well, because I don't have, no, get started. Just get started. And then before you know it, 1 year then pass, then 2 years then pass, then 3 years then pass. And that's why I always recommend our small businesses who are just getting started, always presenting to your prime, the prime contractor, and you're trying to be a subcontractor, at least so you can get started. Because I'm telling you, the competition is fierce, and these established small businesses will outdo you anytime because they have the team, they have the capacity, they have the finances. You're still trying to build your capabilities, you're still trying to build your finances, all those things. So I used an example, project management. So this person had a project management, the pitch, with over 10 years of experience as a project manager supporting government agencies. Well, I specialize in streamlining operations, ensuring compliance, and improving efficiency, right? Then you can go in there and quantify it. You can do whatever you want to do. I've led teams on highly visible projects for agencies like Department of Transportation and FEMA. So I kept it like that, successfully meeting critical deadlines and budget restraints, whatever. You're going to quantify it. You're going to add all that stuff in there. I kept it very simple, basic, so you can add your stuff. Now, as the founder of your company's name, I bring this expertise directly to federal clients, offering tailored solutions and project coordination, whatever that is. You just pull it out and put what it is, the projects that you were. I was the project over SharePoint. I was over the project lead over this, but you're putting what you're putting in there, okay? You just need something to start with. So this is for you to start with. I love to connect and explore how we can support your agency, right? But the next action should be something like, can I send you my capability statement? Can I send you my capability brief? Because you want them to look at it. You don't want to waste their time. You don't want to waste yours. You want them to see, or we're trying to find out, are they have any program management requirements coming up? I was looking at the procurement forecast and I didn't see anything. Do you project something that's coming out? The goal is to get to the next step. So that way we continue this conversation. And then why this works, you're leveraging your individual experience, right? I gave you a space to write in. So position you, all we care about is subject matter expertise. If I'm contracting, all I'm going after is acquisition analyst, procurement. I'm going after everything contracting. If you software, if you're PM, whatever you are, that's what you're going after. And that's all the things that you're looking for. That's all your research. Now you're going to use those past roles for credibility. Okay. References. Do you have any references at these agencies? Like me, I had my sergeant majors, I had my directors, my SESs, everything when I transitioned from being a contract specialist to a small business owner. I had a list of my references that I will pull out on a dime because I always contact them. Hey, I'm going after this opportunity. Can I use you as a reference? I always gave them heads up. And what I was doing, do not use people if they do not have a heads up and you don't have a relationship with them and you have not worked with them. These were my supervisors. These were my commanders, my command sergeant majors, my sergeant, my team, so I had that. So without misleading the company past performance, because you have to be truthful, because you don't want them to think you're trying to get over. So you want to be truthful and transparent. This is me. This is what I bring. And then the smooth transition to your new business. Show how prior work informs your company current level of capabilities. Okay, I'm bringing with me 22 years of government contracting experience, military experience. I've been to Sergeant Major Academy. I've been to all these different academies. If it's academy, I've been there. Battle staff, all that stuff. So I can speak government contracting. I can speak military. So that's why I'm always going after installations or after things. So you'll know what to go after because you're going to use all of your experience to go after the things that you've been doing all these years. Now you're going to get paid for it as a contractor instead of an employee this time. Now, and then a strong call to action. Encourage further discussions rather to focus on lack. Don't focus on your lack of past performance. All you're trying to do is get to the next step because that's going to come. Because if it takes 7 touches to get to this person, then shoot, that's what, 6 months? All right. So I've been in the business for 6 months. And so the thing is to keep the conversation going. So I put this little space below so you can put your background in there. Your relevant agencies you supported. So say when you was an employee, I worked for DISM, I worked for the Mission Installation Contract Command. You list everything out. So what you're doing right now is listing everything out. I got my PMP certification. I got my DWEA certification. I got my APMP certification. List all your certification out. And then you're transition to your business, what you're building. I'm doing consulting. I'm doing whatever. And then you're going to do your value proposition and then your call to action. Okay, I'm trying to get a meeting, or I'm just trying to get the POC, or I'm just trying to start learning about procurement forecast, whatever you're trying to do, and then put those plans together. So you have to do that first. If you lack direct past performance, highlight skills, certifications, everything. This is going to help you when you're trying to build who you're going to talk to. I'm going to be talking to prime contractors. And then if you're a small business, right, you ain't got no experience, no nothing yet. Go after other small established business. Don't try to go to the medium and large because you know it's hard to get to the medium large. Let's try to just work our way up. Start baby steps. Now, if you know somebody in Accenture and all these Booz Allen Hamiltons and all that, and then they're willing to give you a chance, then by the means go. But that's not everybody. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. We're looking for repeatable processes that most people can use. Now, other people have hookups, they know people and all that. That's them. But we don't always have those hookups. So that's why it's important that you understand how to put this thing together. And then, so if you lack the direct past performance, highlight those skills, certification, meritable outcomes from your career. Decision makers want to know who is behind the business, and your professional experience is your company's experience. So that's why I always say that's your company's. And then the next step, practice your pitch, share it with your counselor, and they're going to give you feedback. Because once this session is over, you got to practice. You got to keep practicing. Don't let everything that you've learned, you got to do it while it's still hot, while it's still fresh in your mind. Put it all together. That's why I always like these interactive sessions. So you're putting it together as we're speaking. So as soon as you leave this session, you should be having, you should have your pitch. And now you refine it as you go. Refine it as you go. Refine it as you go. Okay. Due to time, I want to keep going. Handout 2. You're going to get the handout 2. Let me blow this up for you. All right, same thing, crafting winning elevator pitch. And those examples you all gave, they were phenomenal. They were good. I thank you for taking your time and trusting us to put this information out and then working together. So while a well crafted elevator pitch matters, a strong elevator pitch helps businesses communicate their value, proposition effectively, build credibility, secure meetings, because that's the main goal. We're trying to secure some meetings. So that way we can go to the next step, so we can find out about the opportunities at that agency, so we can start bidding, because if you don't bid, you can't win. So this is just one phase in the government toolkit that we're using just to get to the next phase. So everything we do is in phases. And this is just to start getting relationships, because people do business with who they like, know, and trust. That's just the way it is. It's always been that way, and I believe it always will be. So, and it's important to start building those relationships with those decision makers. Okay, now in government contracting, decision makers often have limited time. Now, mind you, these people, that's why I tell you, you want to draw them in. You want them to, ask questions. Hey, so who you did it for NSA? Oh, goodness, you work for them too? And then that way it draws a conversation, and then you draw them in, then they're going to ask more questions. Then they're going to want to get you on that calendar. So the goal is to draw them in, and because they have limited time, they got to go to the next meeting, or they got to go to the next capability briefing. But you want to be rememberable. You're trying to figure out ways that I can be rememberable. Making a concise and compelling pitch is essential. So I gave you some examples because I wanted to just keep reinforcing what I'm training. So software development, right? Because I'm not a software developer, but I have worked at DISA, and we've had to do the 508 and all the different software and stuff. So I know a little bit about it. But the pitch, we specialize in creating a secure, scalable, customized software for government agencies. Now, then they said our team has developed projects for DHS and DOD. So that's already letting them know I have past performance. Ensuring compliance with federal cybersecurity requirements. We'd love to discuss how we can support your next IT initiative. Now, how I found out about their IT initiative is I went and looked at their strategic plan for, I was going after DHS and DOD. Right. So I started looking at the initiatives. I started seeing what the key programs are. And that way I can speak to it in my pitch, knowing that I know what I'm talking about. I've done the research on this company, this agency or whatever not. And then, so that way we know that we're a good fit. So that's the key to it right there. And then ensuring compliance with federal cybersecurity, because that CMC coming out. So we happen to speak to that stuff, and then you can even put CMC if you level 1 or whatever, because what we're trying to do is get to the next step. Now, why does this work? It highlights my expertise in security and scalability, because we're always looking about scalability, because we're going to be building a team. We're going to be adding people on our team, such and such, such and such. So all we're doing is building. We're starting where we at so we can grow. All right, then we mentioned our past performance, right? Establishing that credibility, ensuring compliance with government regulations and key decision makers. And then we have that clear call to action. Everything we're doing is a clear call to action. All right. Next, we got the janitorial services. And last year we did our training on janitorial service. We walked through the whole process. My goal is to continue to walk through the different ones, like janitorial service, then move to healthcare, and then software. And so that way you have different examples to go by. That is our goal. Now, the janitorial services, the pitch, we provide eco-friendly, OSHA compliant janitorial services to federal buildings, right? Our current team, so if you want to put how many people you have on your team, but if you're fairly new, you don't have a lot of people on your team, so that's why you don't put it. But you quantify it by telling them how many square feet that you are currently doing, like the office space for GSA. And then we're reducing costs while ensuring a clean, safe environment. They love it when you give discounts and all that stuff. So if you want to put that in there, especially GSA, they love discounts. And then let's talk about how we can meet your facility needs, because you're trying to get to the next step. Now, are you going to do a capability brief? It depends on whatever you want to do. So whatever you're trying to get, that's the call to action. Or if you just want to come on the site, do a site visit so you can see everything that you're going to be cleaning. Because I had one client who won a contract. She didn't realize how much work she had to do. And she did not account for that. So she underbid. And so that was not good. So that's why I say do those site visits, know how much square foot it is. We've already did the measurements. We know how many square foot it is. We know how many building. We're right in the area. We're in 30-mile radius. You know, you're thinking of ways to draw them in, thinking of ways to get them, hey, let's have a discussion. Let's have a conversation. And so those are the things we're trying to get to. Now, we got to get to the health care as time draws in, because I wanted to make sure we got through everything before the session end. And I still wanted to give my little pitch because, you know, just encouraging you and thanking you for what you did and how you do what you do, and continue to push, push, push. Anything worth having is work. You got to work for it. You know, I've seen too many people quit, give up. Oh, it's too much. No, anything worth having, you have to work for. You don't just give up on your marriage. You don't just give up on your children. You know, same thing with our business. We don't just give up on our business is our child. You know, it grows from a baby all the way up to an adult, and then it can take care of us and keep us. So healthcare, nursing services. Now we supply highly trained license. They're looking for licensed nursing. So if you're certified nursing assistant, you can do this. A medical technician, whatever you are, we're highly trained, licensed nursing professional for VA hospitals, or it could be just at a regular commercial hospital or on military bases, you know, because everything I do is focused on military bases because I've been there so long. So I focus on where I am. Then you focus on, so we focus on rapid staffing. So we have a team, we have a portfolio, we have a recruiter on team. You know, you're thinking of ways to draw them in. All right. Then we filled over 200 critical positions last year. So you could put for 2024 and then so forth. Then we can discuss your upcoming staffing needs. You know, do you have any staffing needs? You know, so we're trying to get them to the next step. Can we get a call? Can I send you our capability statement? You review. Now, once you send something to them, you still got to follow up because they might get busy. So you send them that follow-up email. Hey, just following up on the email that I sent you to get ready, because you want to prepare the agenda, because everything you do, you have to be prepared, because first impressions is a last impression. So I'm telling you. They're very strict on that. Okay. And then focus on the major point. They need rapid staffing because they always missing. They don't have nurses or whatever. You're focusing on those challenges and those pain points. Then you're establishing credibility, because we said we worked at VA and military healthcare, you know. And then we're talking about the quantifiable success matrix, 200 positions we filled, or if it was 10 positions or whatever, you know. Try to find those things that going to, because to you it may not be important, but to them it's like, oh, really? You done that? You done this? So it's important to do your little storyboard and write it out. Okay, we did this, making sure you're taking those pictures, having those things, those proof points, because they need those proof points. And then the landscaping services. All right, our company provides year-round grounds maintenance for government properties, ensuring compliance with federal sustainability guidelines. We've managed landscaping projects for national parks and local municipals. Okay, let's explore how we can, but you see how I'm making the pitch really short. I mean, I was getting rid of all kinds of words because I wanted to make it quick. I wanted to keep their attention, and then I'm going to give them the rest of the stuff in the capability briefing. We want to get the high impact, all the stuff out that we really know that's going to draw them in to get to the next meeting. I know we want to get everything out. I know but we got to put that high level. This is the high level, if you will, of our company. And then we want to get to that next meeting so we can give them the more in-depth. The capability briefing, you know, give them that information, and then do some research. Now that we've pitched, now let's go look at that procurement forecast. Let's go look at those industry events. So, because hey, I win the contract and I don't even like the organization. You get in the organization, be like, Lord, where am I at? You know, because you didn't even see the cultural fit. Is this a good fit for me? You know, because there's a lot of things in check. Yeah, all money ain't good money. You know, you in there working and you're stressed out. Your health is so you got to look at all that, because I'm always a holistic person. You got to put a little balance in there. All right. And then so what we highlight was our year-round service, an important factor for agencies. Aligns with government sustainability and the environmental policies. And then well-known client is national parks and local municipalities for credibility. And then you have the direct calls to action. So basically you get what I was the message that we're saying is we got to get it out. And then the last one, the IT help desk. You know, they're always looking for good IT help desk. Then you can get the GSA schedule. So if you're in the IT department, I always recommend, because they have the fast lane program. That's another story. That's another one. Go look it up. It's on GSA schedule, fast lane. And you're trying to get, but you got to have a customer already, and you already got to have because you're gonna have to have a requirement to keep the once you get the GSA schedule, you got to get people using it, or they're gonna cancel it. So IT is one that they're always needing at agencies. Everywhere you go, they need a help desk to keep those systems and stuff. So that is definitely one you should have. And then we deliver 24/7 IT support. So that means you need 3 shifts, right? We're going to need 3 shifts. Can I afford 3 shifts? So it's all those things that come in place when you're going after these different opportunities. Can I at least get 6 of my peoples together so we can do, and then they're going to run because I got my primary, my alternate. I mean, you got to think outside the box when you're trying to do these things. So that's why I said it's elevator pitches is one thing, but you got to think about it in a holistic manner. Okay, what is the objective to get to what? I'm trying to win a contract. I'm trying to get a meeting to get to the next step so I can win a contract. And then that revenue, I'm going to have it at least for 5 years, hopefully, because you see this stuff that just happened, people losing stuff. So you got to have that plan A, B, C, D, E. You know, don't just put all your eggs in one basket. That's why I do commercial and government, because government is always changing and the commercial is always changing. So that's why you have to have a diversified portfolio. So, and then the last thing is how to craft your elevator. So we start with the hook, we define the problem, we present the value proposition, prove your credibility, and end with the action item. And I gave you space too, so you can do yours, and then share it with your counselor. Get that feedback, make it better. Continue to practice at these different industry days. Like I said, I was at my class. I give my little same elevator pitch for when I'm attending school, so they can know, because I met a teaming partner at school at Webster University. We both did contracting. So I was like, okay, well, can we talk about this later? You know, after, because you just never know who's in your audience. You never know who's all in training trying to get something. So you just never know who you meet. And then when you're having your different networking events. So that's important and a powerful tool. Okay, so because we're running out of time, I'm going to give just one of my elevator pitch, so that way I can at least be in with everybody else. I always want to make sure I practice what I preach. Now, my networking event. Hey, I'm Akeisha with Key to Life Professional Services, where we help small businesses to break into government contracting. I help them with the processes and procedures, developing competitive strategies, position them to win contracts. Our expertise is in acquisition, compliance, and proposal development. I have helped 350 small business to win government contracts. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn and learn about your contracting goals. You know, I keep it very simple when I'm in a networking event, because it's time for me to talk. I got to learn about them. I got to ask them some probing questions. Okay, so how many years you been in business? How you been doing this? You know, if you spending all that time talking, how you going to start asking probing questions? Because what we're doing is vetting. We're pre-qualifying. Is this a good fit for me? So that's why I start off boom, boom, boom. And then they start asking me probing questions. I'm asking them probing questions. And then we trying to see, oh, yeah, this ain't going to work. Oh, yeah, this is going to work. You see what I'm saying? So you see why I say you have to. And then your teaming partner, because, you know, I'm looking for good teaming partners going to take care the subcontractor. I'm a sub. I don't want to be the prime. But if I have to be the prime because I'm the vet or whatever, then I will. But you got to know what your why is, what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, and what is it for. Okay, so I'm going to leave 2 minutes for questions. And because I know that was a lot, you know, this is our first time doing this training. We're trying to really squeeze all this information in, and we're learning how much time we need for this and how much time we need that. So the additional resources are the Apex Accelerate. Please sign up to get with your counselor. We got the SBA. Check out those free resources. You know, I'm always talking about Neil McDonald, the president of GovCon Chambers Commerce, because he have that LinkedIn Live and they do so much training. Okay. And then the last thing, if I got any more questions before we close.
Thank you, Keisha. That was fantastic. And I'm sure that everybody who participated today, whether they pitched or not, has learned a lot and is going to go away and start practicing and recording themselves. I know it's not easy at first to listen back to yourself and critique yourself, but you get used to it and you do improve. So I'd really thank you for giving people the opportunity to practice today. It doesn't look like there's any more questions of just people thanking you for the presentation. So I'd like to thank you all for participating today and thank Keisha again for a fantastic presentation. As always, I will be sending out the slides and the recording will be available later today on our YouTube channel. And please do sign up for future trainings. We will have Keisha back next month. Let me have a look and tell you what we are doing next month with Keisha. I believe it is how to find and win no bid contracts in your city or county. So that's a good one to sign up for. I'm going to drop the link in the chat box now so you can sign up for that. And don't forget, of course, your Apex Accelerator counselor is always here to help you. So please reach out to them. Thanks, Keisha. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.